Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. We have two new Civivis, or at least one new, brand new Civivi, and then one interesting change up on a familiar model. Thanks so much to Civivi for sending these in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. And please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. So what do we have here? Let's do this one first. So both of these, by the time you're watching this, should be available. You should be able to go down in the description of this very video and click on the links to check these out. Might be a few different variations of one of them at least. But yeah, you can check these out in the links in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. So what do we have? We have the button lock Elementum 2, but in, what do we call this stuff? I always forget. Ultim, which some people really like and some people don't. I didn't like it at first, but I do now. I'm actually a big fan of Ultim. I think it looks really cool. Now, on some knives, it obviously looks better than others, but I think it works well for this. Now, initially, I was worried that, Civivi might be one of those companies that decides to, upcharge for Ultim as if it's some sort of exotic material, which it isn't. If you're new to knives and you're like, wow, Ultim, is that special? Not really. It just looks cool, and it's plenty durable for, knife scales. Civivi does a good job with it, and I don't think they're really charging hardly anything more if you want to pick up one of their newer models in Ultim. I like being able to see through the scales and see, in this case, the skeletonized liners. I think that's really cool. Did they keep the same steel on this? Yeah, it's Nitro V is what they've always used on this guy. So, yeah, I think this is really cool. I mean, if you've never picked up the Elementum, and you're looking for an excuse to pick one up and you like Ultim, well, here you go. If you already own the Ultim, or the Elementum, if you already own the Elementum and you just want an excuse to buy another one, then here you go. Yeah, I like everything that Civivi is doing with Ultim. I think it's really cool that they're offering some of the most popular, knives in this material. So it's cool. Still a shame they don't have lefty mounting positions for the pocket clip. Like, why? Guys, come on. Really missing the mark there. That's cool. Now, for the other one, this is a new model, I think. At least I've never seen it before. Gosh darn it. Sometimes these companies send me sealed boxes and sometimes they don't. Okay. So what we have in here is, what's the name of this one? This is the Amorite. And I specifically, I said, hey, you're gonna send me that, right? And they were like, don't worry, it's already on the way. Oh, this is much bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Holy moly. That's huge. I thought this was gonna be more of an Elementum sized knife. Wow, okay. So we have a huge button lock razor blade. Some people like these, some people don't. I mean, you could call this a Warncliffe, right? A little bit of stick on that button, or is it wearing in already? Let's give this a few flicks here. A little bit of stick right off the bat. I'm sure that'll work itself out, but we'll see. Very nice thumb stud deployment. Really awesome thumb studs. Look at that. That's just perfect. And wow, the ergonomic lines on this are fantastic. This is a fully flat ground, just really big razor. It's big, but not absolutely gigantic. Should we measure it here real quick? Overall length. It's an 8 point. Yeah, it's fairly large. 8.35. Blade length, easily. I mean, we go to the back of the scales, you could say 4 inches. We go in the middle of the scale, 3.75. And your cutting edge is about 3.25. Wow. Okay, I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say that this knife is probably pretty slicey. Yeah, it definitely is. That will work for continuous cutting. In fact, doing something like breaking down cardboard boxes, something like this is going to make it an absolute breeze. That's really nice looking. It looks good with the gray G10. Now, what do we have for steel here? If I can't, oh, here we go. Is this also Nitro V. I honestly can't even see. Yeah, that's what it says right there. Nitro V as well, which is fine. So I'm hoping that, I mean, here again, details on, why this shouldn't be priced super high. A lot of times they try to go, but Nitro V is not it's a cool steel. And honestly, we see Nitro V on custom knives sometimes. Not an expensive steel. So we have peel ply flat textured G10 sitting on top of liners. They're not nested. We have a plain steel clip. We got no backspacer, just standoffs, right? This is very inexpensive construction. It is effective construction, but very inexpensive. Here's another thing that I'm going to do. Ever since I had multiple failures with another company with their button locks, I just really want to be careful about this stuff. I want to be checking button locks for at least, this is what I do. It's a bare minimum should be able to withstand that. Now, I'm not going to do what the early 2010s YouTubers did, where they set up a freaking brick wall and they take a running start and give it a Happy Gilmore. That's insane, and it proves nothing. If you watch channels that use that as some sort of demonstrate, that doesn't prove. When are you going to do that with a knife? Never. I'll answer that question. Here we go. Actually gave that one a little bit extra. Gave it a little extra sauce, and these are fine. So, it is not button locks. It's not an inherent nature of a button lock to be prone to failure under normal circumstances. Do I think that this lock is weaker than other typical folding knife locks in the market? I don't know. Maybe medium, somewhere medium low. Honestly, I feel like a liner lock has the most potential under stress to fail, but that's just me speculating. I have had inexpensive button locks recently on this channel fail with very light spine taps, right? I've said for the last 6 years that I've been on YouTube, I don't like the spine whack test because it doesn't demonstrate natural force on a blade during normal use, right? If you're going by Grandpa's rules, then Grandpa probably used his knife incorrectly, right? So if you got taught by Grandpa that your knife was a screwdriver, a hammer, a pry bar, I'm sorry, but he taught you incorrectly. Your knife is a knife, which means you're not going to put pressure on the spine under normal circumstances. However, in rare circumstances where you do stab into something that's very dense, right? Or you're trying to dig your knife in between two surfaces. It's a very narrow space, right? In a really weird situation, I've had this happen before. This is why I can use this as an example. Trying to pull the knife back out, and with all that friction, I found myself twisting and rocking. And when I rocked, the thing disengaged. And I was like, whoa, I actually found a situation where this makes sense. Now, a lot of people are going to bring up batoning. Don't baton with a folding knife, right? You don't have to prove anything to anybody. If you got to do it, use a fixed blade. Most of us aren't batoning in general, right? Use the right tool for the job. But in my opinion, button locks should be able to withstand light spine tapping, just to be sure that the geometry is correct. Now, if that means that the trade-off is that we get a little tiny bit of button lock stick, like this, I'll take it. Because this is almost nothing and will almost certainly wear in, right? This one literally is nothing. It's fine. I'll take it. I just want to make sure that we're not disengaging. So Civivi, good job. All right, we're good. I won't do these types of tests unless I have more than one reason to assume that a certain type of lock is not going to work. There are other indicators, right, with liner locks. If you're wondering, why don't you ever do this on other locks? Why are you being so particular about what you do this with? There are other indicators, like, for example, lock slip and lock rock on a liner lock. If I don't feel it at all, it's likely not going to fail under light, spine pressure. But if I'm feeling it slip or especially rock, yeah, I would say the geometry is probably wrong or the lockup is not secure. It will probably fail, in which case I might test it, right? Just little tiny indicators like that. But most of us, if you've been, into pocket knives for a while, you've probably picked up on this stuff. But that's why I do it sometimes and don't do it other times. Anyways, these are cool, and I'll have them linked down below. Please, where's my card? Please make sure to follow me on Instagram. It's a mess. Directly outside of this one, it's an absolute mess. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on the Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.